we saw the rise from out of the blue of the blue
I
Mercury
see what you
Sport.
did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I see
Sorry.
what you did there. Box.
In this lap. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Behind the Pits. I am Alessandro,
And I'm Matteo.
and today we will start with, of course, the greatest news of all, which is the winner of the Montecarlo rally, the incredible Oliver Solberg, that at his second Rally 1 race he won again, and he won especially at his first attempt at the Rally of Monte Carlo, which is just incredible, I have to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It's amazing. As I've heard from the broadcast, he has managed to do something his father never did, which is winning a Monte Carlo. And yeah, it's probably the most prestigious rally of all. It has been compared, especially on the broadcast, by by the Italian commentators to the 24 Hours of Le Mans in WC, or the 24 Hours of Daytona, or even the Formula One Grand Prix.
Yeah, it is extremely prestigious as a rally, and especially is incredible what he achieved. Looking also to the conditions that there were, with all the changes of the snow, then tarmac, then again the melt snow, and especially considering that beside the fact that Hankook was at its first season with as a sole manufacturer for the tires, they had to bring a very specific kind of tire, of a studded tire that is just 2 millimeters exposed. The stud is just 2 millimeters exposed, since it has to follow the French regulations for studs. So winning in that conditions, and I would like to highlight that he did it with about a minute of advantage, is something just incredible what he achieved.
Yeah, I've seen a video about who's the French driver in the I think it was in Skoda, uh Camille. Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah.
trying to start a rally, and like the tires slipping, he couldn't get any grip on the tires to get launched into the stage. And yeah, especially at the call of Ligny, there was zero grip going up and down the mountain. Like everybody was going so slow because there was actually no grip, and like Sebastian Ogier just totally was complaining about the grip in the interviews.
Yeah, also his third place came out of just accepting his situation and deciding not to risk the race. Also because even though drivers were driving extremely slow, it was very extremely difficult. And about Camille, I would like to also highlight a very particular situation, which is the uh, the death, basically, of almost every Rally 2 cars. Think about it. At the end of the rally, there were just 2 cars that were actually eligible to uh, to finish the actual rally out of 23 that started in that category, which is just mind-blowing of how difficult of a situation that was in France.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't um, watch the full rally. I only watched 3 stages, and luckily, I got to see the best one, which was the Grand Prix. stage at the circuit at the streets of Monaco, and even then, like, it was torrential rain, and almost everyone was sleeping out at the roundabout, the
Yeah,
360s. So yeah, that it shows how difficult the rally is, especially with
yeah,
the tires configuration that they had to bring.
yeah. It's very, very interesting. And that roundabout that you talked about showed especially who is more used to stuff like Gymkhana and drifting, and actually Takamoto Katsuta that basically does that for breakfast, and Solberg that did also I think one or two of the Gymkhana videos with Ken Block showed what you actually need to know to do that right. Even though in Rally 1, uh, that particular stage, the fastest one, was incredibly certain Formant that did an extremely good race in that particular stage.
Yeah, and it all came down to tire strategy because Mo had, I think, four super softs for the stage, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. And but
No,
like,
Formo had, I think, cross tires with soft and snow tires. The one that used as was indicated by the Italian broadcast, the sim racing strategy of the all soft tires was actually the ex sim racing WRC esports champion. Armstrong that did kind of a good race, but in that stage, but in the last part of the second lap, he didn't actually perform that much. Also because of the growing rain that there was in that situation.
yeah, but a P6 in the end for him, more than joy for me to say, to see a sim racer, although be it still extremely talented real life racer, having as a vice champion in the European Rally Series, European Rally Championship. Sorry. Uh, yeah, P6 shows what sim racing can actually do to real life racing.
Yeah, it really shows it. And thinking about sim racing, I think that we can switch to a topic that is actually about last week that incredibly didn't have main um, any main scandal or anything like that, which is the iRacing Daytona 24 hour.
Well, you say that, but in the European morning, which is the late night for the Americans, a lot of people were complaining about the Drago strategy. But we're gonna cross about that when we come to the later parts of the race. And and I want to congratulate Drago for their incredible dominance in this race, even though two of the cars didn't have the right ending. They were super dominant, super on pace, and they could have been a 1-2 in both GTD and GT.
Yeah, and it actually shows, as the commentators indicated during the race, it shows what does it mean to take a project, believe in it, and bring it to a winning situation. Because Drago was founded just a couple of years ago, and through time they built a very good lineup of drivers, and of engineers that were capable to take to Daytona an incredible, not only strategy, well, incredible for them usually, um, but especially a car that permitted them to, as you said, to dominate and to beat giants like Team Redline or Williams Racing that actually quite folded under not that much of a pressure, if I may say that.
Yeah, but so I don't know what to say, to be honest, but yeah, the strategy paid off incredibly well, especially in the few first hours of the race. Although be it with a couple of incidents between teammates, especially with the 69 car, uh, which is not so nice, being punted off by the sister car, the 68,
Yeah,
behind in turn one, and then by the 2 car in the kink, and reportedly massive damage to the car, which I I don't know, it didn't seem right, but it's a racing, on a racing, even if you top something, it's gonna be massive damage.
yeah. And if I may, it was quite incredible to see the performance of such giants that teams that are now such giants, like Team Redline and Grid and Go Sport, that actually had quite a rough race. Two of the cars of Grid and Go actually didn't finish the race. The two cars of Grid and Go didn't finish the race, and also the number 4 of Team Redline also didn't finish the race. It was quite a particular situation. It was quite a difficult race for the big teams this time, which was actually interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame that the number 4 got a quite unfortunate incident with an LMP2 cars colliding at the pit exit, if I am not mistaken, and then
Yeah,
just being
actually,
sent
if
off.
I reckon it was at the second kink with the WSR LMP2 car, yeah.
Yeah, and just basically ending. Uh, Probably the other car who could have gotten the win if everything else played exactly as it did. Maybe could have been between the can you remember who won? It was the 5 or the 2 car that won? I think it was the 2. Uh,
Of you
Drago.
mean of GTP?
Yeah, GTP.
Of Drago, it was the number 2.
Yeah,
The
the
number
number.
5 and ended the race in 7th place and 8 laps down, actually.
Quite an unfortunate incident for them, but yeah, it was either between them or the number the number 2.
Yeah,
So
they had quite the strategy.
yeah, and also well, it didn't quite play off the strategy in GTD for Dragos, as they finished third behind a 1-2 of Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that at a point I said, "Oh, this seems strange. Dragor are pitting way much earlier than the other cars around. They have changed strategy for some reason, and they are going less laps. Is it going to pay off for them? Well, apparently until a certain point, because they were
Yeah.
a lot behind the Williams, and then they tried by bringing back the 69 uh, to give them a tow, and that's what sparked all of the, I would say, confusion, not so much drama. Uh, Tweet chat and I think also YouTube chat as well, that they were saying, sorry, that they were saying that Drago was cheating because uh they're running the lap car to give an advantage to the leading car.
Yeah. And if I may actually talk about it, well, I am actually siding for Drago, because first of all, Williams Racing in the Williams F1 Team Gaming actually raced, I think, almost the whole race in the same in NASCAR style, especially in the fast parts in the banking. And what a lot of people say is that, oh yes, but both cars were on the same lap, while Drago was using a lap car. So, since we are talking about sports car racing, yeah, probably the 69 had a lot of blue flags, but you're not obliged to give the position. So there is no need to be angry to Drago. They just played with the cards that they had, and they did that in a good way until a certain point. It didn't pay out as much as they hoped they would, and what would be a bit less in the spirit of racing, I think that is what Williams did. That with the two cars on the same lap, until the last lap, they were one behind the other, racing as as a single unit, and just on the last lap, giving a chance to the number one to try and take on the win, which didn't happen by 60 thousandths of a second.
Which
But yeah,
wasn't even
if
shown by the
yeah,
broadcast. Fortunate.
yeah, it was just shown in the replay just later, but yeah, it was quite quite a close finish. And actually, if I may talk about also about teams, we saw the rise from out of the blue of the blue
I
Mercury
see what you did
Esport.
there. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see
Sorry.
what you did there.
That I personally, when I saw them, I was like, who are these guys? Like, how they came out of nowhere and they're extremely fast. Turns out that basically they came out of the ashes of Apex Racing, and also by doing some little stealings from other racing teams.
Yeah, we have a little insider on the on our team about high big event stuff, like high elo stuff, as someone would say. Yeah, and he basically confirmed that it was uh people a lot of people from ART, some people from, I think Williams as well, that left
Yep.
the team. And yeah, it's a new team, a welcome new, since ART left the scene last year. Um, so we needed a fresh breath of air with an interesting project of going to the top straight away, not playing around, and signing the a lot of the best driver from the from the best racing team.
Yeah. And actually, if I may talk a bit on a bias from our team, I think that is a huge fresh breath of air for the whole racing community not having any more Apex Racing, since they have always been known, and we saw that on our cars for their aggressive style of racing. And yeah, actually, we're seeing some very good teams. A team that has extremely good drivers that race in a very good way, and very clean racing. And they do that also by being fast. So I can't do anything but actually say a congratulations, a huge congratulations to the team.
Yeah, yeah, they were also running third and fourth, if I'm not mistaken, in the earlier stages of the race until
Also, first, there was a part, I think, in the eighth, between the 8th and 11th hour, where they were running in first and they were looking actually quite strong in a position where
yeah,
they could also be thinking about winning the race, actually.
yeah, and it shows that they have a pretty big project to to look forward to for the next special events, and
Yeah,
maybe we'll see them at Bathurst in the coming weeks.
it would be great. It would
Yeah,
be very interesting.
it would be great. It would be, I don't know, maybe a new rivalry that could be could be could be risen up, or it could become. So yeah, good for them. Happy to see them in Daytona, uh, and look forward to the future.
Absolutely. So, from virtual racing to real racing, I would suggest,
Yep.
and we could think about what happened actually between 2 days ago and yesterday in the uh, the oval that will host the famous Daytona 500 in a few weeks. And of course, we are talking about the actual and real Daytona 24-hour.
Yeah. Happened something unexpected. The Porsche's G3 had no pace at all. Maybe overbought. Uh, or still this new GT3. Wait, let me get the name straight. 911 GT3R 992.2. If it's the correct one.
I think actually I believe the 992.2 should be just after the 911, but yeah, it is. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, the new GT3 Porsche GT3 Evo. Let's call it like that.
Yeah, yeah. The EVA package actually was thought to be quite the package,
Yeah,
even though it didn't show as it did also for Ferrari. Uh, not it wasn't very helpful. We had a part in the late stages where the 77 and the 911 were first and second in GTD Pro, and we had the 912 that was second in GTD, and I was personally quite happy actually. But
yeah,
still, in the last part of the race, they fell down, and it ended up being for the whole race a matter between Chevy and Ford. But actually, in the late hours, we had BMW joining in, and in the very late, like in the last 2 or 3 hours, out of nothing, from
out of
nowhere,
no,
the Mercedes. Yeah,
I was watching, and I was like, where did the Mercedes come from? Like they've
exactly.
been
They came
nowhere.
out of nowhere. They got some pace, and I think they had some help from the Formula One team, because being able to perform in that kind of conditions, it's something that we have seen last year by the W16 in Formula One, but not from those GT3 cars. And it was as strange as nice at the same time, and it gave us a lot of very close racing, also in the last laps, as especially the GTP did.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, something I totally forgot about, like the dark horses of the Fords and the Corvettes. I totally forgot about in my predictions. Well, mostly for the fact that until until a day before, when we recorded the podcast, we didn't know anything about the Ford lineup, either from WC and from. So I was basing off my suggestions purely because of names in cars rather than looking at the manufacturer. But yeah, it was a totally matter between Ford and BMW and Corvette the first hours, and then with the BMW kinda creeping in, they started lost because of a camber penalty that put them lost of the GTD Pros. So they came crawling back a little by little, and uh, yeah, they were there, they were not there. Ferrari were there, then they got stupid penalties, as they always do. Uh, and yeah, the 911s were not there at all. They were a little bit in the mid stint of the race, before the night, and a little bit in the morning as well. But other than that, I don't know, it's pretty bad performance for a first race.
Yeah. Yeah, but actually, it is actually, yes, it is very bad for both Porsches and Ferraris. The Ferrari were good, especially in qualifying and in the first part of the race, where there was the pace, they were there, but after that, it was like they didn't almost exist. It was incredible to see how the going on with the race, the pace went off, which was actually something extremely unexpected by the Evo packages, because usually when you put an Evo package on, and we saw that back years ago, for example, with the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo, they were already extremely fast, and already results came, and yeah, it didn't in GTD. We had situations that we were not expecting at all. And something that was not expected, but for sure was quite near to the American culture, was what Ford pulled up in the last hours with their barbecue of,
Yeah.
I think it was the 66?
No,
I
I think it was the
No, the
64 who
64. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, quite only two barbecues this race. One from the Ford with a huge oil leak once they lifted up the car. It was I could have went for a dip in there and like swam away. And the other, it was the number 10 Cadillac, who was lucky enough to catch fire after the bus stop and then bringing it back immediately to the pits to retire the car. Unfortunately, would have been cool if they would have stopped right there, so could have had another safety car and maybe just strategies calls and stuff like that. But hey, props to
Yeah.
uh, the Jordan Taylor, I think, to bring it up immediately.
Yeah. And actually, if I may, also the fact that it didn't win, it didn't give us the chance to say that every GTP did end the race,
Yeah,
because
true.
beside the number 10, every single GTP that entered this race did end it, and even if not in on the same lap. And yes, I'm talking unfortunately about the
Only.
number 23.
Which I think
Very
it was the
sadly.
only car not on the same lap.
Yeah, and it was 16 laps down. Actually, even though it was 16 laps down, it still managed to keep the same pace as the other cars. So yeah, extremely unlucky situation for the number 23 Aston Martin.
Yeah, unfortunately, because uh, they were looking promising in the last round in WC, but maybe that's just pop status that gave them a chance on running for something. We don't know how.
Yeah, but also, if I may, also in the last races of the IMSA last year, also in at Petit Le Mans, they did have very good runnings. So yeah, it was an interesting situation. There was some hope for the teams. And about that, I think that we could talk about the very hurtful stuff for
Prediction.
us, which is looking how our predictions did go.
Oh boy. Well, for one, I was almost right on 3 out of the 4 classes. If they
And I
would
can
have
say the same.
stopped the race at I don't remember. I think it was like 5 hours, and they queued the number 4. I would have gotten my GTD Pro prediction right down to the T. But unfortunately, the race had 5 more hours to go, and 5 more painful hours for all of us multi fans. The car dropped down and dropped down. But let's start with the GTP top 3.
And I will accept to be the first one to be joked about, because my prediction was the BMW number 25, followed by the Porsche number 6, and my faith has been destroyed by the in the third. I was looking for the Aston Martin, but yeah,
Yeah, really,
yikes.
they had. I mean, it it wasn't. They didn't lose on pace. That's what that's what I can say. They were tormented by gremlins inside the car, which prompted a stop and restart, which often switch on to get the car running back. But yeah, I also may add that in the first hours we didn't see any BMW. As well, the
Yeah,
Evo
yeah,
package here didn't work as well as everyone thought.
yeah. But then during the night, the BMW were looking extremely strong. They were actually quite challenging the Porsche. The Porsche. And then they were replaced by the Cadillac with that incredible run from last place by the number 31 that I have to say did a immense performance,
Yeah,
almost winning behind an even more immense performance by the number 7. That still you didn't get. I have to say it.
yeah. I came close, really close, because there was a point where the number 6 was flying, and and the number is 7 seemed a lot of pace. But I must say that the number 31 pulled I think a loss to 5th, then back down to last, and then to 2nd in 24 hours, which is really impressive and shows that this Evo package was a good addition to the car. And yeah, it was quite literally on fire. The whole crew, the whole 24 hour, they battled him, catch back up again, to the lead pack and trying to take the win.
I think, yes, we can move up to another class that kind of disappointed on its side, but on the other, I'm very proud of my thoughts and my predictions, because moving down, I'm sorry, to LMP2, my personal prediction was the number 99 AO Racing Spike, the number 2 United Autosports, and the number 43 Inter-Europol competition that, as I said, I'm very proud to confirm that they are a threat to everywhere they race. And I mean that by how good they are on pace. Unfortunately, the number 99 came to a 5th place after leading a good part of the race, while the number 2 actually decided not to be in the race anymore at a center point and
Which
didn't
was
get that
turn 1, lap 1.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
dream
The
shattered
start was wild.
very, very fast.
I also wanted put the number 2 first, and then proudly I have the 04 Cross Strike Racing in 2nd place, which took the victory in LMP2. Yeah, I don't know. I had the feeling that the 04 would do good in the race, but my god, they got punted in a turn 1 on lap 1.
Yeah.
I actually at the really start of the race, and they were down the whole field, and to came crawling back 24 hours strategy through everything, through the fog, to win the race. That's an impressive feat.
It is indeed. And if I may, I can say that I'm quite proud as a bigger community to see that the top 3 in LMP2 was a whole European teams top 3. So it's also quite pleasing on that side.
But Inter Europol are really, really good when it comes to LMP3.
Yeah.
Okay, time for the disappointments, guys.
Yeah, GTD Pro. My prediction was the 2 Porsches to dominate, followed by the second Evo package. So we would have had Rexy finally winning the 24-hour, Mante getting a second, and Triarti Competizione getting the 3rd place. But while Triarzi was having quite a good race, they ended up a little bit in the back after basically sending the number 3 to do rallycross.
Number 4, actually, it was number 4.
Sorry, yeah, the number 4 to do rallycross in one of the last restarts. And in the same restart, the number 77 decided to eliminate itself from the fight by jumping the restart and getting a drive-through penalty, while just the 911
actually it was a
after
stop
having
and go
1 or
60.
2 hours. Oh, all right, yeah, even worse.
Yeah.
And then a good 2 or 3 hours in the last hour and a half, I think. Uh, just dropped down and didn't have that good of a pace. Although they were extremely good drivers, but they didn't manage to end up to where they had to be. And we could see in the end Paul Miller Racing just dominating and creating a very nice situation when their number one won they are in their class, and then of course the two Mercedes out of, as we said before, out of nowhere with the 75 Express and the number 48 of Winward Racing just uh, coming back and also being menace to the BMW.
Yeah, even here with the number one, they as well got sent to the back because of a post qualifying penalty, and they went on to win the 24 hours. So, yeah, a lot of the commentators looking at the result of qualifying in GTD Pro were asking if the Porsches were this low because they went to a completely race setup and didn't think about qualifying at all, giving how not important qualifying is a 24 hours. So, but apparently everybody was thinking about, oh, the Porsche new Evo package again after a year again. Uh, they're gonna dominate 24 hours. It's not even, well, not this time apparently. So yeah, I don't know. Let's look forward to Sebring and see if they can get it better there, or if it's just the package that is wrong.
Yeah, we will see. But I think that, and I hope that on BOP side, and especially from Monte side, and they are quite the team that can do that, they will come back and stronger to fight for quite a good spot in Sebring. Now, getting down to the last field, to the GTDs. Actually, I'm very happy and very proud to say that I got very nice two cars right. So with the 57, Winward Racing that actually did win the race, and I did remember that since in GTD, especially in the last years, they were always very very competitive. The Heart of Racing with their with their Aston Martin, they were very quick indeed. Even though my prediction was a second place, they got a third place, but still they are on the podium. And my third place would have been the 912 Mante first form, but yeah, it didn't end up really well to for the for the Mante. Just 12th place for them, and actually the second place came to be of another Aston Martin, the number 44 Magnus Racing. How about yours of predictions?
Well, I was well, we were chatting a little bit, talking shit about each other prediction in GTD, saying that neither of the Porsches, either the Porsche were winning, or if one or the other was in first place. So, and I wanted to put our predictions a little bit, like remind us our prediction. And rewatching the podcast, I did not complete my GTD prediction. I only said that the 912 was going to win the race. So yeah, that's about it. I in the But at the time, I would have said maybe the Team Art of Racing was going to go second, and the 21 uh, of AF Corse USA was going to come third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there also the
it
21
wasn't
didn't have that great of a rate.
it wasn't a good thing, I would say.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good prediction round.
It happens. I mean, it is a 24-hour race, so giving a correct prediction, I don't mean that is impossible, but it is quite difficult, especially in a packed field like GTD Pro and especially GTD is.
Yeah,
Then,
only I mean to give a the right prediction only if you either come from the future and you've already seen the race, or you really know well the team. And even us as fans who are disagreeing on a lot of stuff. Like for example, I was thinking that the stronger lineup between the 57 and the 912 was the 912, and you thinking that the 57 was the stronger lineup. So yeah, that's pretty much that's that's pretty much about it.
yeah. Now, I would say that we can move to something that is a bit more followed, that today started already with the Formula One, actually. With First of all, I think we could talk a bit about the liveries that came out. That I have to say, one day after the other, I was blown away of how beautiful they were. Even though I know that for some of them, you were not on the same idea, actually, as I was.
Yeah, no, I don't like the Ferrari at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone. I don't like the Ferrari livery. And
Okay.
it's
Be,
not
I mean,
it's not the
before.
HP logo. It's not about the HP logo. That I must preface is it's not about the HP logo, and it's just the whole white thing on the fin of the car that's kind of bothering me.
Okay, if I may, I'm going down just to get the first cars that we had. I would go back to the first. I go one after the other and give just a little thought about them. So first one, the very first one, is the team that after years of copying copy paste the same livery, just changing a little bit the sponsors, finally we had something new, something fresh. Red Bull with their astonishing livery, if I may say my word. It's incredible. The pattern, especially that you can see on the car, is looking very nice. Beside that, finally we have some more colors and a throwback in the numbers to the very fast uh, early 2010s with Sebastian Vettel winning his titles. And yeah, I can just say that he is just an incredible livery.
Yeah, I think the Ford partnership uh made made them realize how the blue can work in the car. Being that all of the Fords are really bright blue, I must say, with the year's livery. So yeah, a beautiful livery. Uh, I mean, I always liked Red Bull liveries, even with the darker color and the copy and paste. I mean, if it's something is good, never change. I think it goes something like that. Yeah, It's better this year though.
Yeah. And then going from Red Bull to their junior team, Visa Cash Shop RB, I would say when I saw the car, I was like, oh, it's they stopped doing copy and paste with the with one team. They started doing that with the other one. But I have to say that beside the fact that yes, there are actually some changes, I did see them, especially in the front part, in the front suspension part, and in the back. On when you see the car on track with the pictures, especially with the first ones that came out when they run some laps in Imola, it looks damn good. It really does look good as a livery.
Yeah, I think the white liveries are always good. So I don't know. I don't remember right now the aesthetic of the car, like the aesthetic of the livery, but I think I liked the last year's more than this one. But a white car is always good.
Yeah. If I may say, this livery looks, I can say a bit more professional like. It's sort of a thing that I would say. And on a technical part, if I'm one thing that I would like to highlight, especially from the pictures that we got from the first from the on-track runs, is of actually how big that air scoop is. The Red Bull doesn't has quite, let's say, a normal opening, while the Visa Cash Shop has really a whale mouth as an air scoop, I think. But yeah, it's probably for cooling and everything. We will see uh, with
How
the
it goes.
season if it is useful or not. Yeah, and I would then change, go to back to the United States with the Haas Formula One team that came out with, I think, one of the best liveries they have ever done. One of the best liveries of the grid this year, with a completely white car, very similar to their 2021, 22,
Yeah,
and
without
2023 season.
the ugly
With
colors.
yeah, and with that beautiful GR logo that shows how much Toyota is looking into the Formula One world, but still as a second player, not yet as a first player. But I think that if the regulation for 2030 will be quite pleasing to them, we might see a change in the Formula One paddock. If not, if Haas does perform well, maybe a 12th team and get Toyota once again on the grid.
I have to disagree with you. I don't think we will see a 12th team. Yeah, unfortunately, as much as everybody would like Toyota back and the 12th team on the team, uh, either it's going to be Toyota just straight up buys Haas uh, becomes Toyota F1, or we'll never see a 12th team and like has continued to stay with the Toyota partnership and yeah, but if the regulation in 2030 are good, we can see another another major uh, engine manufacturer in with Toyota, and it's gonna be a good one because now we have Audi, Cadillac. I think I'll bring in their own engine next year.
Yeah,
This
next
year
year.
is just with Ferrari for the meantime to get into F1 and seeing how it goes. Then like Ferrari, Mercedes, and And no, I think it's only Ferrari and Mercedes left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be back to with actually 5 manufacturers. We hope more, maybe 10, 11 manufacturers. Everyone has to
Yeah.
bring their. Actually, no, wait,
I mean,
Ford still. Wait, there's Ford with Red
oh
Bull.
yeah, Ford, yeah. Red Bull Ford powertrain. I
Red
would,
Bull 4, but yes.
if we want to be, yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
it could be a really great battle if Toyota joins, which we hope it does. Uh,
Yeah.
and what this means that Haas is not anymore a Ferrari second, as
Yeah.
has been for years now with when Mick Schumacher joined as a FDA driver, and now Oli Berman is in us as an FDA driver. So maybe 2030 Calero Vampera can be next to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
It is.
Sebastian
I
Buemi is
believe even
back.
before, if I may. Yeah, I believe that Kalle, if looking how good he's doing in he's actually how good he's improving in the New Zealand in the Oceania Formula Regional Championship. I think we can see an interesting season this year in Super Formula, and also next year in Formula 2, and maybe 2028, 2029 we might actually see the Fiend try and find the hand in Formula One. I believe that he's a driver that is extremely talented. He reminds of the world champion here in Formula One, Max Verstappen, of how good he is at changing cars and performing with them. And yeah,
Yeah,
I think it will be a very interesting situation.
yeah, and
Now,
it can bring with like Toyota coming into F1 could bring a lot of new
absolutely.
faces, like Rio. I forgot his surname. He's driving in the
In Formula 2.
as well, yes, but also
Oh, Ritomo Miata, yes.
yeah, also another Rio who's driving in hypercar at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure about him. About Ryo Irakawa we're
Yeah,
talking about here.
Hirakawa, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, he's old, and at the same time, he's not, he did never perform in the practice sessions as Kalle would probably do. So yeah, I think it's more of a stretch and might end up as a Yuji the situation trip. So, which is not something that we want to see again.
Oh no, please. Okay, next livery.
Then the next livery is the one that you don't like, and actually that I do really like.
Yeah,
The
which is
German, the new German, the Audi Formula One team.
yeah from the
I will let you
preview.
talk first.
Okay. So from the preview, the car seemed orange, which I was promised a red livery, a red accent on the livery, and it was really strange looking. But that's orange, and I was like, but that's orange, and I went to another picture and I said, but that's orange. Why is it orange? Yeah, and it's the fact that also I don't like the size of the sponsoring, especially the Revolut sponsor on the side of the car. So that's pretty much why I don't like the livery. and also from a couple of images that have surfaced on the internet, the car that they did the presentation wasn't actually the real car. It was just a show car.
Yeah, and we saw that today actually. And so first, if I may now say my word, I think that it is a very interesting livery. It's a lot of fans were disappointed with the fact that it was the same one that was shown earlier during the 2025 season, but on behalf of Audi, when they showed that livery, they said, "This is the livery. We just need to put the sponsors on it. This is the car, the livery that you will see next year." It was already they already said that. And beside that, I have to say that the how sponsor were arranged and everything, I believe that they did quite a good job. What I do believe that can be interpreted as the livery is the colors and where they are, because the front part until the front half is metal-like, so we can think about titanium and all those metals that have to protect the driver to make the car flexible but very durable. The orange-ish part, red orangish part, is in the where the engine is located. So it can also indicate the heat of the engine that comes. And of course, the carbon part, the black carbon part, is all the parts of the air scoop and the fresh parts where you just need everything to be light and of pure carbon fiber. So that is quite the color that you expect there. So yeah, as a livery, I think it makes sense, and I personally like it. What doesn't really make sense and actually worries me for the season is today, because shakedown testing about you want to do as many laps as you can. We saw Ferrari engines, Red Bull, and Mercedes engines doing hundreds of laps. We're talking about around 200 laps per engine, while Audi ran only 27 laps with Gabriel Bortoleto. Maybe just they did want just to check the car how it did handle and start to do some adjustments, and maybe adjust the actual engine, and maybe we won't even see them tomorrow. But still, even if it's just shakedown test and there are still 4 days left to that they can use, and there are the two Bahrain tests, it does worry me. It does worry, I think, the whole paddock of how the situation is uh, in the Audi garage.
Yeah, I saw a Reddit that said that Gabriel was at one point was actually stopped on track. So yeah, first things first was kind of worrying for me as well. Like saying, "Oh, what happened? Uh, what's happening with the engine?" That type of stuff. But yeah, as you said, maybe they just want to check everything. They already did one shakedown in Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So,
No, I'm sorry. In already they did in Barcelona.
oh yeah, true, in Barcelona. So maybe already they went full throttle there, and right now they're just making sure the engine is surviving until at least the first race of the season. You know.
Yeah. Now, from a silver arrow to the other, that actually is more a former silver arrow, the Mercedes W17, and I have to say, and I hope you agree with me, it is similar to the one that we saw next year, but still, it is a great livery, and that stripe thingy on side pods looks just great. It is a great livery. and it is very interesting.
For me, up until now, the best livery of the of the whole grid for now. I really love what they did with the uh front of the car being silver and then fuming out to black in the rear of the car. I think it just looks incredible.
I can't agree more with you. And now to the main piece, because we're going in order of how they came out. The wonderful, and I will say wonderful,
Oh
Ferrari.
no.
The the SF-26 with a 20, where they took the 2016 trend that is going on at the moment and just slammed it on a car. Seriously,
I don't even think it's the 2016. It's more the
yeah, it is more.
312T.
Yeah, exactly. It is to think more a homage to the 1975 and 76 and 77 car, which is incredible. I have to say, really like it. Especially, finally, they came back to a gloss paint, to a bright paint, and the black. The carbon wings do look very, very good.
Yeah, being the almost replica of the 312T, I hope we don't get to quote Rush saying,
I don't want to see any burning driver. We already had that 6 years ago. Not again.
no, 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 I'm not. I'm just saying it's a shit box. You can say that it's a Ferrari. I hope we cannot. I hope we don't get to say that.
Yeah. If I may, in say something, the 1974 Ferrari was fully red, and I can say that because on my side here I have my tons of Formula One motor cars, and in the 1970s sections I have so many Ferraris. I can tell you, 1974 was fully red, and then from 75, where there was the win of the championship, we did have this white part on the top. So maybe a good thing. In 2016, it wasn't a good thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, we will see. We will see. The car, at least aesthetically, I think it does look great. We will see how it goes for the rest of the season.
and we pray how it goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's mostly what we're gonna do.
And now to the car that I think was the less effort ever I've ever seen on a Formula One car after Red Bull, the um, Alpine. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
at first I thought it wasn't thought it was just a car with the old livery. Then I saw that yes, it is the actual new livery.
Yeah,
It's
it was the same for me. I thought they just copy and pasted the old car, the old livery in the new car. Well, they actually changed the front a little bit. Now it's more pink rather than blue Alpine.
yeah.
But yeah, not the best one, I'd say.
Yeah, not what you did expect from the team. I have to say also, on the side pod now is completely blue. We don't have a pink side pod with a blue, with the blue BWT logo, but still, I believe something more might have been done. But yeah, we will see. I mean, you can have the best looking car ever, but still running very bad. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But oh god, I have to say though that yeah, it is quite the same looking. one to the other.
That's
But
it
yeah,
for the liveries, I guess. If I'm
yes, I think because we have we do have like the Cadillac and the McLaren.
shakedown.
Yeah, but they're not that much. I have to say the McLaren does look interesting, but it's just like a lighter gray over carbon. What I can say to thanks to McLaren is a welcome back 2014 noses. Thanks to McLaren. What is
Oh,
that thing on the front of the car?
wait, I didn't see it. I just saw the.
Oh,
I actually saw the fin being longer than
yeah,
most of the
yeah,
cars, and I didn't
yeah.
see the
But
nose at all.
while you take a picture, get a picture because
Yeah, that's what
while
I'm
you do
going
that, I
for.
can what I can say to you guys is what is this? It does really look like the old 2014 cars. It is as it was said, it is the penis nose. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah, I just saw
it,
it.
yeah. It's bad. It looks bad.
Well,
It really looks bad.
it's not car Caterham type of nose. Let's say more.
It's more like the 2014 McLaren actually, if I may. But still, it doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
It Yeah, but I mean, a car as Enzo Ferrari once said, the car can be the worst looking ever aesthetically, but if it wins, it becomes the best car you've ever seen. And I can't agree more with him.
Well, what do we have now? Oh, a news just dropped yesterday, which
Oh,
might favor some type of F1 driver who likes to do other stuff. And well, NLS2 got anticipated to the weekend in between the Japanese and Chinese Grand Prix. And for those who don't know, NLS2 think the second to last or the last round before the 24 hours of the my microphone did. The 24 hours of the Nürburgring.
yeah.
So maybe
Yeah, I mean, Toto.
Toto,
Because
please. Well,
this was
it's not
a
Toto,
whole move by him. Yeah,
probably,
it is
but
because if I may give my word now, since Team Verstappen.com changed to the Mercedes AMG Evo, because they wanted to have a platform where they were sure that it would perform for the GT World Challenge. Basically, they decided to move to that for the whole team, and because of that, Toto wants to see Max race a Mercedes, even if it's not his Formula One car. It is a GT3 car, but it will perform well, and so he asked to the organization to move the race, and apparently he was quite how may I can say that
quite
it was
successful.
quite persuading.
Oh,
Yeah, he was successful and quite persuading into doing that.
yeah, maybe we will see a dark blue Mercedes AMG at NLS2, and even at the 24 hours, since it's just the weekend before the uh Canadian GP, I think.
Yeah. Well, see. Also, because I mean, also I think Red Bull will have to say if it is too much for Max, if they think it's too much for Max, I don't think they will let him race. And skipping to Formula One, actually, since this is quite a small thing, I would like you to go to the Formula One Instagram and to look at. There is a
Okay.
wonderful picture of the Audi and how particular their nose does look,
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
because it is we have a very sharp nose that I think that is very interesting of how much air it can bring under the car. Um, the we If I can give a bit of an in-depth look for a moment, we have that a nose that looks like can bring, as I just said, air down the car, and on the side we have a lot of little wings that looks like they can redirect the air on the over the side pods, and then to go back to the rear wing. So I'm already looking to a car that aerodynamically looks very interesting, looks like it had its job very well done, but still even though it does look good and it does look interesting
Oh god,
mechanically,
it looks half
well,
orange off.
aerodynamically,
Looks half
yeah,
orange
yeah,
off red.
mechanically, it is still worrying today that they did just 27 laps. But I mean, it's the first day of the 2026 season. We will see how it goes, because there is one team that is having a worse start of the season, and we are talking of course about a team that last season managed 2 podiums with a great driver, Williams, Atlassian, Formula One. What are you doing? We had 4 attempts at the crash test. 4 attempts failed. The car is not homologated for the 2026 season. What about that?
Yeah, it goes from bad to worse. They were going to miss the shakedown, and apparently that's the reason why they cannot homologate the car. And it's quite sad that uh, there's a kind of a decline after last season, which they really did good. Uh, they where did they finish fifth, I think.
Yeah, they let me check.
I think they. So I'll take.
Yeah, they did finish fifth. They
Yeah.
had a
So
huge season last year.
yeah. So a lot of bonus cash from finishing fifth, and so they would have, like, you think they would have been more than prepared to at least come to Barcelona with a car and do a proper shakedown.
Mhm. Yeah, the thing is that I think that me and a lot of other people are looking at some ghosts from the 2019 season. But if I can say that, it is a completely different situation, because in 2019 we had a team that was on the very limit, on the edge of the knife between with bankruptcy. They had the I think one of the worst managements in one of the worst sporting managements of all time, and it was really a tragic situation. Here on the other side, we have a situation where you have to make a completely new car with a completely different approach, where yes, you can have problems. We saw problems with the engines by Ford and Mercedes in the during the 2025 seasons, where with the development of their engine. So I think that it is not something that you can accept from a team, but it can happen. I hope for them that they will come stronger in Bahrain, and they will get they will show off a very good car, and during the season they will be competitive and continue of how competitive they were last season. But still, it is very worrying that they didn't pass a test that is about something that you should know quite well how to do, because a crash test mainly is about survivability of the driver. And so the main monocoque of the car is something that is not the same as 2025, but still is something that
Very,
you know
very
how to
close.
do. And it's the one that had probably one of the parts that had the less amount of changes. So yeah, it's something that can happen. It's not acceptable, but can happen, and we will see in Bahrain how it goes.
Yeah, they have a couple of weeks to get back on track and deliver a car for us to see at Bahrain. So hope it goes well for them. Rooting for them.
Yeah, I hope they will. Yeah. Also, I do hope that it will have some little bit of time on in shakedown testing, even some kind of private testing, as they do usually in Silverstone before Bahrain, before risking to bring a car that falls apart. So yeah, it will. It is a tough situation. I would not like to be in the same booth as Carlos and Alex.
Or James.
But yeah, or yes, or especially James. But yeah, it is a long season. It started just today. We still have 4 days to test of testings. They have time. And we're in a situation where you can be first on the first race, and then you can be lapped in the last race of the season. So yeah, nothing is sure. It will be we have everything to have an interesting season and to give a chance to everyone. So looking forward to everything of it.
Yeah. Well, that concludes this episode of the podcast. Let us know your thoughts in the down below. Thank you for listening or watching if you're a madman who watches podcasts as I do. Uh, well, we're going to try to do it a weekly podcast from now on. Let's see how it goes and see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.